Huda, I want you to help me understand when it comes to life, right? You know how lately we've been in our own trials and same thing but different situations?
Yeah.
So how can you know how when God shows you something, this is what you're gonna have and this is what you're supposed to have, but the present time you don't have it, right?
But you have revelations about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. How do we? Because I know in the moment, people always think that like because we're believers in Christ that we have it easy, or because I do a YouTube channel where I'm always smiling, that like my life is always smiling. But you gotta also know that like even though you're a Christian, God never said that it's gonna be easy. It's harder for you because you're a Christian.
Yeah.
Imagine how Jesus went through it. Like he's Christ himself, and he went through worse things that we could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
So if he can do it, and he saw the outcome before he came down here, he knew.
I'm gonna get napkins.
He knew he was saving humanity.
Right.
He knew his purpose was to come here and go through it. But in the midst of it, there was times when even the Garden of Gethsemane, he was like, I think that's what we're going through right now, the Garden of Gethsemane moment. But we're like, this is so hard.
Yeah.
But God, if it's by your will, let it be done.
Amen. Okay, so like she said, we go through stuff on a day-to-day basis, and I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes we go off of whims of what God has shown us and told us to do. And even when we do stuff because he has told us to, it makes us, of course we question it because we can't see it. And what we can't see is like, we can't fathom, Even though we've seen it either in a dream, in a vision, or whatever, or he's sending people to us to, prophesy to us and let us know, that this is what's about to happen, this is what's about to come forth. It's so frustrating, especially when the waiting process is always the most frustrating, because it's like, God, I know what you told me. I know what I've seen. Right. And then not only will he send people to reassure you, but he will also send people to question what you've questioned. Because now it's like, am I really going to believe in God? Am I really going to trust what God has told me? Because now it's, okay, you said you trust me. Let me test how much you trust me. Are you going to, even through your waiting process, even through all the hurt and the pain, you know what I realized? It gets so chaotic right before your blessing's about to break through. It gets so chaotic. Like even the waiting process for the apartment for me. You know what I mean? If y'all
we live together, by the way.
Oh yeah, we live together now. Just the whole waiting process, like I was just like, God, like, am I gonna get it? Please send somebody to reassure me. Like, I don't want to question your word, and I apologize if I am questioning your word.
You know how you broke it down for me yesterday?
What?
I think that they need to hear it. You were like, I find it very profound how you broke it down. You were like, if you're questioning what God showed you, right? Now you're questioning God's word. Yeah. And now you're questioning God, and then now you're questioning His existence. Because His existence is where it all lies. So now it's not just a question of your faith.
I said it to you?
Oh. Now it's a question of the existence of God.
Right. And that's what a lot of you guys got to understand, that, the process that it takes to get as far. Like I said, some of us go on a whim. We just hear His voice, and that's what we move by, because that's the expectation. I said this in the faith check video that we said that we did with BJ, that when it comes time for us to move, when He says move, we have a certain expectation as to what we think God should do, instead of letting God move on our behalf. And so when we have these expectations, and instead of letting Him move, we then become frustrated, we become irritated, we become angry. Not only angry, but we start taking stuff out on people who don't deserve it. You know what I mean? Because we're so frustrated, we're so aggravated with the process instead of allowing God to just move in the process. Right. So, the process hasn't been easy. Just a waiting process. It's like a waiting game. You gotta always wait.
But I think patience
is a virtue.
It's not just that. It's I feel like God gives us patience.
Yeah.
Because He had to master patience. So
right.
He wants us to master it.
Right. Yeah.
Because if we master patience, then the enemy cannot come into our ear and be like, "Did God really tell you this? Are you really on your like?" We won't really care about timing anymore. Because as people, as human beings, we move by time.
Right.
Got to be certain place by a certain time. We do this by a certain time.
Right.
But when we become, I feel like when we all understand the the value of patience, the world will be so much better. And patience is so hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's like faith. You have to
really.
KK say that. You have to what is it?
You gotta work your muscle.
Work that muscle every single day.
Yeah, work your faith every day.
I'm not a patient person. Not even human beings. Not with God. Like I have no choice but with God, because He ain't gonna move unless He's ready to move. So
right.
He's like, whatever you say, I really don't care.
You know what?
Have a seat.
You know.
So for me and her, even though we're going through the same thing, but not the same problem, but the same theme of it, we're each other's insurance all the time. Because a lot of times, like yesterday, we had a good heart to heart where I was letting her know how I felt, and I felt like really discouraged and really like, is this really gonna happen for me, God? Was this God who spoke to me? And when you have a person in your corner that can like reassure you and help you understand, like even though you don't have faith, I have faith enough for both of us.
Yeah. So
your faith may be shaking right now, but I'm gonna stand the gap for you, so that this can happen.
Right.
You need people like that.
When she said when people can stand in the gap for you, she was saying in the faith check video that again, what you said just a minute ago, when you have somebody in your corner and that can stand by your side and say, you know what, I loved how the way you said in that video. You was like, to everybody else, 1 + 1 is 2, but for God, 1 and 1 is 1. So when you have someone in your corner who can say, you know what, God, my friend she don't have the mental or physical or spiritual capacity to stand in the gap for herself right now, because she's going through so much right now. So but I can. Allow me to be the vessel to stand in the gap for her. Let me pray and intercede for her. And I know that my faith can cover her whole spiritual being at that point. So again, you have to have people in your corner. And even if you don't have nobody, allow yourself
God will always bring you somebody. Right. Especially in the storm of it.
He definitely will. But if you don't feel like you have anybody in your corner, definitely allow him to just, pray on it. And allow him to use you to minister to somebody else. Because that's exactly where all of where you feel like your weight gain was purpose. Your pain was purposeful. Because then it's like, okay, well, now I done went through this, and now I see somebody else going through it in the same storm as I am while I'm going through my storm, and you can start ministering to that person like, look, this is what I'm going through. And so I understand everything that you're saying right now, because this is what I'm doing. This is what I need. This is what I prayed to God for. And you know what? I feel like this is what you need. Let me intercede for you. Let me pray for you. Let me pray with you. That's a blessing.
Sometimes you don't even have to have a conversation. As long as you see it happening.
Yeah, you can pray for that person.
Or I can just go in the spiritual realm and just do it for them. There's a lot of times I'm pretty sure that she does for me too. But there's a lot of times where I see her, she's doing something's not going. Not that she's doing something bad, but she's not listening. Because baby girl is hard-headed. So when I feel tired of repeating myself, I just stop talking and just deal with it in the spiritual room for myself, for her. So at this point, me talking to you is not doing nothing. So, and I feel like a lot of times when if I see something is bothering her, right? Like the whole apartment situation, you don't always have to tell me, I don't know, I'm overprotective about her. So when I see somebody's mistreating her or somebody's playing with her time, because I hate my time being wasted. Yeah. So you dang on sure not gonna waste my people's time. Yeah. So I will go in place of her and speak for her. I know she don't like it sometimes, but
you know what I feel like?
It is what it is.
I'm so used to being on my own and not having so many people in my corner to, I don't want to say something yet, but that's the word I'm going to use, to always help me or advise me to do better, or even just to have my back. There's very few people that I trust, and so when I allow you in, I allow you in. You feel me? So a lot of the times I'd be like, I gotta call my mom, and I'd be like, I'm not okay with her doing this, but
I didn't know you did that.
And my mom had to also reassure me. She was like, you know what? For you to be so strong in the spiritual realm, sometimes you lose sight of the physical, of the people that are around you, because of the thing that you've been through. It's hard for you to understand why they love you so much, or why they like to step up and be like, look, you're not gonna do this to her, or take up for her. So sometimes I'd be like, I got this. Let me.
Nah, I remember that one time we was on campus and
like I was
the
shook.
boy touched your face and you were like, I'm about to deck him in the face. I'm like, oh, calm down. And I went and was like, look, sir, you better stop playing before I go crazy on me.
He touched me and she saw me about to run up on him and she grabbed me up. No, ma'am, sit down. I got this. And she went out to go talk to him.
Well, I was cussing him out.
Yo,
I literally spoke to you after that because I was insulting his manhood and all of that.
The very next day, he walked up to me and he was very cautious about it. He told somebody if he could talk to me, right? So he literally spoke to somebody and was like, can you tell her I need to talk to her? Because he saw me about to swing on him the day before. And I don't know what you said, I don't know what you did, because I had walked off after that. I sat down for a few minutes and I walked off into the mailroom. But literally,
every time he would be like, you good?
Hey, how you doing? Are you okay? You okay?
He would have his hands up. You were at the mailroom. I was like, somebody's trying to jump me.
I was in the hills. 2 minutes later, I was at Haygood. We go to Payne College. Okay?
Oh,
if you don't know, that's in Augusta, Georgia. But she called me and was like, oh, somebody's about to jump me. Literally, I was in the hills and I ran.
You didn't even hang up the phone, bro. Like, all I heard was, I just heard static. And I'm just like, hello? Hello? And then she's like, who's trying to jump? I was like, wait, you were just wrong. Wait a minute. It's a joke. Calm down. I was like, pissed off.
Stop playing with me. When it's about somebody I love, and when I tell you I love you, I mean it. I don't just say it just because it sounds good to your ear. I literally show you every single day why I love you and why I need you around. You feel me? Because I feel like I would want the same thing back in return. Somebody just sit in the gap for you. They're like, excuse me. No, ma'am. Sit down. Let me take this hit for you. I guess that's because I've been here for a minute, so I'd be like, hey, how you doing? But when people say it to me, I'd be like, why are you talking to me? But anyway, I was like, hey, how you doing? But when I walked up to him, I was like, what? He was like, I just wanted to say that I apologize. I really didn't mean to hit you like that. I was like, And he was just explaining himself. I was like, you know what? I'm fine. Just know your place next time.
I can't.
Think about the moves that you're going to make.
Not the whole speech. I can't.
Be very cautious, my son. Okay?
Girl, calm down.
That's how I said. I was like, be very cautious because you don't know people. At hand. Having someone to be able to intercede for you is very important
and needed.
Yeah.
That's why it's good to have soulmate friends.